that a lot of people are very uneducated on how to ask for permission and how to respect bodily autonomy, and we do not have the language to talk about these things, and we have to start the education at a very young age. I've seen consent and boundary setting being played out amongst toddlers. We really have to incorporate it into early education.
Yes.
I've also noticed that when I introduce consent pedagogy, consent education to older groups, at first it's trivialized. People make a joke about it, and a lot of people are really nervous about it. And I notice how the collective processes this new concept about consent culture, asking for permission, and also like reclaiming our voices and our agency to set boundaries, because many of us were revoked of our bodily autonomy and our voice to communicate our boundaries when we were young because of the way we were socialized as children. So when we raise our children, when we talk to our youth, we have to practice exercises. We have to do role-playing exercises for how we set our boundaries, for how we communicate with someone that was not okay. Something that I have found empowering when my consent is violated, even if it happens in the moment and I'm not able to vocalize my boundaries in the moment, I always have the future to bring it up and say, that was not okay, you crossed boundaries. So I want to remind survivors that you can always, always, always revisit the incident if you need to. And we have to have each other's backs. Something that I've been interested in doing and something that I have been evolving is processes of accountability. I have been a conflict mediator and a facilitator for holding people accountable that have violated boundaries. I even went and confronted one of my abusers, and I charged him for my virginity, because fuck that shit. So I was like, thank you to Chelsea's work, because the statute of limitations was lifted in California, so I could go to him and be like, well, what do you know? The statute of limitations was lifted. Do you want to go to court, or do you want to pay me some money for that? So we have to have each other's backs. We have to abandon packs and come after them. And we got to do it in creative ways. You know why? Because this fucking nation was founded on the culture of domination, subordination, and rape. So when we talk about Kavanaugh potentially being appointed as one of the judges in the Supreme Court, we have to remember that 2 years ago, a rapist took over the government, took over the US government. It was national gaslighting for survivors. I couldn't get out of bed. I was like, did really this guy who said he could grab someone by the pussy and get away with it, he became the president, and that just happened, and he's still president, and now he's gonna try to put this other guy in the Supreme Court? Fuck that, we're gonna overthrow the government. It's just a matter of time and how well we organize, because this government is not for us if it's endorsing sexual violence. We will not put up with that shit. We're coming for you, you